So after reading Escape from the Pizzaplex, it kind of had me with the feats and such inside of it to low-key look back at some of my older Fnaf scale videos, and for 2025, just remake some of them. So that's why today we're going to be just scaling Fnaf Security Breach, specifically the Glamrock animatronics, amongst other characters that you guys have requested, like Burn Trap and the Blob. So yeah. Before we begin though, I encourage you guys to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications so you can be updated every time a new video goes live. It's the summer, so I'm trying to grind some videos out and even possibly live stream, so hopefully y'all, with y'all support and commitment, we can get to something like that. Without that, let's begin. So I'll be making this video in the usual manner. We'll obviously go over the stuff like attack potency, speed, etc. But I decided to do something a little bit different than that, as I'll be cutting the video into different pieces where I'll go over the characters, their own feats, and inverse over each other, before at the end going over all the inverse together and then obviously with a conclusion. So without that, let's begin. Something else I should do is just, credit the homies. Thank you, Shares and Hayes, for the calculations that I'll be cooking with them. Like, the calcs have been low-key going well. And also thank you to T Goji for the thumbnail. Please subscribe to his channel. I'll be linking his channel in the description below. But without that, let's get into it. Glamrock Freddy is the first big character that you encounter in the game, along with helping you. He doesn't do that much in the game, but does get some stuff in the interactive novels. But in the game, when you are escaping and chasing Roxy and Monty in the office section without a vent for you, Freddy basically tears that vent out. Isn't too much, it's probably like wall level, nothing insane. There's other feats he has, such as when he's in Ruin, aka Headless State, he busts down the Phaser Blast walls, which has a calc to be around wall level. Again, though, he becomes more impressive from the Escape from the Pizzaplex novels, where he demonstrates throwing around arcade machines and tearing apart staff bots to, well, the very metal. Along with within the plot being chased by him with Roxy, he's actually stated just as fast as Roxy in travel and shakes her entire green room upon colliding with the steel door, which then in seconds he tears down completely. This could easily be around like the wall level to wall plus ranges, but that's kind of about it. It also demonstrates stuff to the doors that older cast members would struggle, except Elizabeth. But yeah, this is pretty impressive stuff. I should also note for the calcs that I won't be really showing them on screen, or I'll probably show like the conclusion of them. Like the old video, we obviously made an entire blog for the security breach calcs and some of the ruin calcs on Versus Battle Wiki and a blog, so I'll be just linking that from Shares in the description below so you guys can check it out yourselves. But yeah, overall, Glamrock Freddy doesn't get too much into games, but he also is just pretty damn decent overall at the same time. Glamrock Chica. So she's like the second Glamrock in the Glamrock band behind Freddy, but overall, she's kind of like the ugly duckling of the Glamrocks, if being honest, as Security Breach is the only one will ever actually have a good feat for her. So her feat is destroying staff bots, which is just really a common feat amongst all the Glamrocks and major characters in the game. But the other one is technically her getting crushed by the trash compactor, which she easily gets up from. And this was calculated to be around wall level plus for durability, which in game for characters is pretty still impressive, I'll say. As for novels, she doesn't really do anything in the Tales books, but in VIP she runs to Devin and his little brother from to the entrance in quick succession, which I said was superhuman, possibly subsonic, but once again this is more of an assumption, but she does have some quick movements, but other than that, Glamrock Chica doesn't really have anything at all. Okay, so this is a part where it gets interesting since we're covering now Monty. So Monty, as we already knew from how he acted in game, is displayed as kind of a powerhouse, and he does prove that with his feats. His first is being capable of breaking the gates around the place, which is on the wall level. Along with that, Freddy verbatim stated how he is now able to do that with his claws, suggesting that due to the claws he has superior strength to the Glamrocks. Along with that, the Glamrocks are kind of restricted to certain things, at least in the context of gameplay, meaning that kind of further implies that Monty is, well, a little bit stronger. His other ones is that in his boss fight, he breaks the guns around the place, which was also calced around wall level again. And the most impressive to come out of this boss fight was when he stopped the bucket from crushing him, which, when you decommission him, it's worth noting how the catwalk gave up on him due to the force and weight of the energy of it anyways. So this feat was calculated for around the lifting strength class K and for kinetic energy for attack potency around small building level, which is most impressive as this is one of the only small building level feats, at least regularly within the verse, ignoring, well, Ultimate Custom Night. As for like in the novels, in the interactive novel VIP in the Monty based section, Monty hunts Devin down in a cartoon but still interesting ways. He mostly bursts down the boarded up doors or just the boards with ease, with Devin ended up realizing that Monty was actually using that to find him and make it easier to get him, along with having intelligent feats that, well, I'll list on screen, but you guys can hear them fully in the original Security Breach video. It's funny how we all shit on Monty for his IQ, but he's surprisingly the most intelligent Glamrock animatronic, at least with the feats context, along with Devin stating how Monty's faster than him and how he feels like Monty is teleporting, which is, well, subsonic. Monty's displayed as just being more physically capable than the Glamrocks, but also having strategies and some understanding and minor deceptions. In Escape from the Pizzaplex, in the Monty section when you're playing hide and seek, he'll basically hunt down Cassie after he goes off the rails in, well, the game. There's also multiple occasions you can try to escape him, which in those endings, he catches you in a subsonic sense, because in almost all of them, they're subsonic. But in one of these endings, you can hide behind a steel door or a metal door in Bonnie Bowls. Monty basically destroys this entire door, like fragments it, within 5 strikes to kill you, which this feat, depending on your preferences on the fragmentation, was between wall level to wall level plus, along with having other feats that I already said earlier, you know, a bunch of subsonic feats of blitzing Cassie, just being way more faster than her, which just shows that the games make these animatronics on recruit difficulty, and the book's context would tell us that in reality they would kind of just wreck us, but yeah, that's kind of about it. Monty is pretty much just the best Glamrock in terms of physicals and likely even intelligence overall. Pretty good for the GOAT. Alright, so now we have Roxy and Wolf. So she's kind of the Glamrock with good feats, but also was kind of butchered in a way in Escape from the Pizzaplex, which is kind of funny. Anyways, Roxy has decent feats of her own, such as being able to tank a go-kart to the face, which sends her crashing down to the Roxy Wasteway, which was calced as by Sheriffs to be small building level. Along with in the boss fight, she, as Shattered Roxy, she just busts through the boarded up doors, which is also around wall level. There's nothing really to say for her other than needing Monty's claws to escape from the Pizzaplex to hurt Freddy and even kill the Grand Reagent and all that. But in the Freddy section though, with Monty's claw, she does show that she clearly is just way faster than him in terms of attack and reaction time, so I guess that is something you can use, but other than that, there's not really anything, so yeah. That's pretty much really it for the Glamrocks on their own, like their own feats. But as for the inverse to the Kaz, they should be at least physically comparable and maybe slightly above the originals, as they have the most updated technology and body types for the series. So that's kind of about it. Though due to like their performances of feats and the context with Roxy and Chica, I don't really think that they're like physically stronger than the Fun Times, since the Fun Times are kind of well, upgrade attacks of the originals, plus have some minor feats on Afton, and in Elizabeth's case, just better feats, at least in the minor sections, so that's kind of about it, really. But I would at least say that they should be, like, slightly below, like, slightly above the originals, and slightly below, or just below in general, of the Fun Times. With Roxy and Chica being, well, a little bit inferior to Freddy and Monty, so they probably wouldn't even beat both of those. But for the originals though, they're like small building plus for destroying the Twisted Ones, as the Twisted Ones tanked the gasoline explosion in the Twisted Ones novel that was calculated to be around small building plus. This should be pretty obvious, so yeah. But as for inversing each other, it should be pretty obvious that Monty's the strongest out of them, since he has the most strength, the most speed feats, and literally just the most intelligent feats, the only intelligent feats you'll ever have for the Glamrock. I would say Roxy is stronger in attack and reaction time on Freddy and Chica. I'm not really too sure about Monty, but that's kind of about it. And as for like on the tier list, I would probably say Roxy and Chica in the other one with the other animatronics. They would kind of downscale from Freddy and Monty, since it's made really good. They're inferior, as in the Roxy section with Freddy. In Escape, when Roxy tries to defend you from Freddy, he literally shoves her aside, and even just the book literally states how she's like a doll compared character Freddy, so it's pretty easy to see that she's inferior. Not to mention she needing Roxy Monty's claws to actually kill the Grand Reagent, which in story is just a buffer, slightly more intelligent staff bot. So yeah, and also Roxy, even in any other endings, using tricks and stuff to like, you know, just disable it, I guess you could say that. So yeah, it's pretty just implied that they're just physically weaker than Freddy and Monty on a larger scale. So yeah, we'll just kind of end it in like that. Alright, and now we have reached the Blob, aka the only reason you'll ever see anything physically high for Fnaf at all. The Blob doesn't really do much from the games it's in. It still is within Ruin, but within the context of Ruin, and technically Security Breach, it has the best attack potency feat in the entire franchise, with it being implied to cause the destruction of the Mega Pizzaplex, which holds it created, and its size just traveling underward caused the Pizzaplex to basically fall under. I'm going to let you guys know right now that the calcs right now are iffy, with slight errors to them, and are going to be recalced soon. The feats are still pretty strong, so the calcs will still be likely still almost as what I'm going to show y'all, but I do want y'all to take caution, as these feats will, as the calcs at least, will be recalced a bit after Secret of the Mimic. But the whole feat that the Blob creates around the undergrounds of the Pizzaplex was calculated to be around city block level. And the earthquake that it caused, the shaking and destruction of the Mega Pizzaplex, was calculated to be around town level. Barely town level though. But since these things are a bit iffy and we obviously need to recalc them, the best solution I can give you guys for right now is that the Blob should at the bare minimum be at least city block to multi-city block. That is the fairest estimate for the feats that it has, and just that these feats are justifiable. So yeah, I would say at the bare minimum, the Blob's at least city block, multi-city block, but with the calcs, it's obviously the worst you could say is town level. But yeah, it's the most impressive feat and the strongest physical attack potency feat in the entire franchise. And I'll just move to Burn Trap since there's not really, you know, a lot to do. Burn Trap's obviously the final boss of the game, and it's technically also the Mimic, but I'm gonna do the Mimic's own video in Secret of the Mimic, since that game's coming out in, like, at the time of making this, like, 2 days. So there's not really a reason to go over Mimic fully, but I'll just, you know, go over Burn Trap. Burn Trap's singular feat in the game was tanking a fire from Gregory when Gregory lit him on fire in his boss fight, which was also calced around wall level. But his other feat is that he's kind of implied to have drained the Mega Pizzaplex, which was calculated to be around large building. Not really directly applicable to attack potency. It can be, but it's not really at the same time. But it's still an impressive feat for the Mimic, and would kind of make it also, like, consistent. Along with that, technically as well, the Mimic was implied to have been attacked by the Blob, and even GGY, A Tales from the Pizzaplex story, implies that the Mimic was going head-to-head with the Blob, battling it out in the Pizzaplex. So it is implied at least multiple times that the Mimic should physically scale to the Blob. So that's gonna be it right there. Alright, I think that's gonna be it for the video. Thank y'all for watching, as this was one of the more fun videos and technically refreshing, getting Fnaf to a more grounded placement and realistic, so that it's non-wakeable and stuff like that. But that's gonna really be it for the video. I'm gonna place the conclusions for the Glamrocks. They should basically, overall, for their AP and stuff, be around small building to small building plus level. And as for the lifting strength, like class K to class M, since there's other stuff for the other animatronics. And as for the speed, they're like subsonic. And then for the Burn Trap and the Blob, I'll just list their stuff out on here. That's pretty much gonna be it. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, post notifications so you can be notified every time I do a video goes live. And without that, this has been Unknown, Scaling Fnaf. May God bless y'all, keep y'all, peace.